Here is a story about a guy, a camera, and a gimbal. More accurately, two gimbals. You'd think pairing a camera with a stabilizer would be easy as matching your left sock with your right sock, but no. It's more like trying to find a needle in a haystack that's on fire. So I have a Fujifilm X-T3, beautiful camera, takes amazing shots, but it's about as stable as a toddler on roller skates. I knew from the moment that I bought that camera that if I wanted to make videos that didn't look like a scene from the Blair Witch Project, I'd need a gimbal. So I did some research and I found the DJI RS3 Pro, supposed to be the gimbal for my camera. DJI's website even said that they'd work together, so I'm feeling pretty good. This thing finally arrives and I'm ready to get filming, right? I go through the whole setup, balance, calibrate the gimbal, switch on the camera, hit the trigger on the gimbal to start recording, and nothing. Just me standing there like I'm waiting for a bus that's never coming. I mean crickets. At this point I'm thinking, well, that's weird. So I'm Googling, scouring Reddit, and it turns out every review out there is about the X-T3 paired with the DJI RS2. Meanwhile, I've got the fancy RS3 Pro and the two are just not working together. Okay, so no problem. I order the RS2. It arrives and here we go again. I'm setting this thing up, feeling like I'm performing some kind of sacred ritual. Plug it in, go through the steps, press the trigger, and more crickets. I mean, at this point, the crickets should be paying rent, but I'm determined. So I check the compatibility list again. And what do I find? The gimbal was indeed tested on the X-T3 for sure, but it was only tested on firmware version 4.12. I checked mine and surprise, surprise, it's 5.10. Of course it is. Compatibility. This is where things get interesting. Enter Scoops, my new hero from Reddit. This guy figured out how to downgrade the firmware, which is about as risky as trying to eat soup with a fork. But I'm all in. I download the firmware, do a little code magic, and load it onto my SD card. I insert the card, apply the downgrade, and for the next 2 minutes I'm just sitting there, palms sweaty, mom spaghetti. Will it work, or will I have a very expensive paperweight? The downgrade finishes, I attach the camera back to the gimbal, press the trigger and it works. The camera's moving smoothly and I'm finally feeling like Christopher Nolan with a side of Scorsese. Now a quick shout out to DJI. How about testing your gimbals with more than one firmware version, I mean, if I wanted to play tech roulette, I would have stuck with Windows XP. So to summarize, check your camera's firmware version before buying any of these gimbals. Even better if you have a local store and you can try it with your camera there and then. For Fujifilm users like myself, you may be limited to firmware versions that may affect you in other areas, such as which app you can use with your camera. So there you have it, a journey from gimbal frustration to firmware acrobatics. If you have a similar tech story, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to know I'm not the only one. Until next time folks, keep your camera steady and your firmware compatible.